Welcome back to Jammin' Games. I am Steven. He is Wyatt. On your left, we're watching a guy playing 525,600 Rhinos. On the right, it's Amulet Titan, but without Urza Saga. So just an older build of Titan. I often think, when I'm asked my feelings on these things, that sometimes Amulet players just jam the new cards in the deck because they were printed more recently. And perhaps the
You should
older
go back
builds,
to Hive Mind.
I honest to God, maybe you should. Like now that, what's it called in the format?
What?
Infinite Life of Spike Weaver Heliod combo.
Yeah.
You need a non-damage based way to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
Hive Mind's great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't think you run Trinket Mage anymore, but you could
Hive Mind.
consider some things. It would be not a crime if you considered
Just
some
so
things.
everybody knows, Steven's gonna run Hive Mind for our next big event.
I will. I actually think it'll be fine. But so this is I'm on the Urza Saga build in this tournament. Harrison is on the not Urza Saga build, and I think there's merit to both of these things. Zach is going to be cascading into some Rhinos, which is a pretty great start. I actually think this deck's pretty strong because you get Fire Ice, you get Stomp, and you get Brazen Borrower, which are all low mana cost interaction that you just whiff right past on the way to your 3-mana 8/8s.
Yeah, I played Fire Ice in Legacy when it was good, like 7 years ago.
What a time to be alive!
And it was a fun card to play.
Yeah,
Like, you like turn 2 was a huge tempo play. Sometimes it killed a Delver. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's good.
so tapping an Urza land when they only have 2 of them in play is kind of a big deal. Like I used to do that with Deceiver Exarch. I would tap one of the Urza lands just to deny them the
Splinter
mana.
Twin Modern.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so that's there's a lot of upside. It sounds like a pretty narrow card, but tapping something and drawing a card means it replaces itself, and it doesn't have to do all that much work to be excellent. So I'm a big fan. 10 stars.
So now we went our little rant about decks and cards that don't see play anymore.
Do you not realize that Zach's playing a bunch of Fire Ices?
No. I meant like we were on talking about Legacy, and then we talked about Splinter Twin.
So it looks like Harrison is demonstrating, look at all these lands. Also, I kind of like this. We're just going straight through. It's gonna cut. We're not gonna think else. The Rhinos deck is really, really good at putting on pressure, and I think subtlety is at its absolute best here. The evoke guy that like counters puts a non-creature or a planeswalker spell on top or bottom. I think this is the deck where it's at its absolute best, and I'm actually really excited about it. I considered making this deck because of how strong subtlety is in this interaction.
Subtlety's a weird one. Subtlety's the weirdest, hardest one to figure out a home for, I think.
I think this is it, because you want to be ahead in creatures in this matchup. This matchup gets you ahead on board with creatures. That's what it does. And you can deny your opponent creatures so you can just kill them. And you don't really care about card advantage because like you can make 3-mana 8/8s whenever you want to. So you're probably just going to get your opponents on card quality. I guess it's 2 3-mana 4/4 and a 2/2, which is technically worse than an 8/8, but still pretty good. Better against Fatal Push.
Yes.
So spinning a Crash of Rhinos is a tough lot in life to have here.
I mean, like, it's about the same thing as you do with Ancestral Visions.
Yeah, and you usually use those games. I feel like it stinks.
It never feels good, yes.
Yeah.
Here
2 mana floating for Harrison.
is a Dryad. Play another land.
You always get these weird traps where if you don't have another land, he has another land. If perhaps the only land in his hand was
Downside, do you
Downside.
play another land?
That's the big question. Yeah. And I don't think you do in this spot.
Blue land's interesting. It shows off the Valakut combo.
It does, yeah.
So you have to win with Titan, but that means you have to be able to beat a bunch of 4/4 Rhinos.
Yeah, I think it puts you in a good spot. I mean, maybe Harrison brought in Force of Vigors, so this can just take care of itself. I was talking to Harrison about the mirror match. I think Force of Vigor is pretty big there.
I think Force of Vigor is more important than the Evoke creature or the other one.
Yeah, because Force of Vigor can break up an Amulet and a, what's it called?
Dryad.
Dryad.
Yes.
Which is pretty great.
I mean, here's just a Titan.
That's a very speedy Titan.
Here is Hasty +2/+2 or +2/+0. He can't give a double strike, but he does get another attack in here.
Yeah. That is correct.
We get to get in for 8, it looks like.
Yep.
Or I guess that's a 10 total.
10, yeah. It's also a Vigilant Titan.
You get to get, what, like...
I'd like setting up for another Titan, because if there's an outside shot, your opponent has some sort of interaction here.
I mean, Temur doesn't have a ton of interaction that deals just 6 damage. Like, Bolt is like...
What about Brazen Borrower?
I mean, that's just back in your hand. Then you should recast it.
I guess you don't need another Titan if that happens.
Yeah.
What is happening here? Bouncing that to the hand. So Harrison is setting up for another Titan, anticipating some sort of removal out of Zach. If you can go get Pact of Negation, that's usually a pretty big blowout.
Yeah. Here's 2 Rhinos, though. This looks like it's in combat still.
2 Rhinos dot deck.
Oh, it's... I was going to steal a Titan. Inevitable Betrayal.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
This was...
Unexpected.
Zach was spinning the wheels here. Like, we saw the Brazen Borrow, and he was like, no, I'm going for all upside all the time.
Get a Titan.
Get lucky. Wreck your opponent's life.
Here's a Titan. I'll block your Titan with mine. I think you shouldn't do that, right? It gets first strike.
No, it has Vigilance and Haste.
Oh, okay, I can remember what
Yeah.
you got. They block and trade. I'm guessing that's what's... Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Zach just didn't want to touch the card because he didn't own it anymore. He's going to make Terrorson do it. It's big leaguing, dude. That's what you do.
You have to go fetch for 2 lands. Which, like, I don't know how important having lots of mana in this Temur Rhinos deck is.
Yeah.
He's got a hard cast Subtlety. Yeah.
When I played with Jared a lot, he would play Bant Spirits, and he would always Phantasmal Image my Titans, and then go get a bunch of, like, Razor Verge Thickets. It's just like, okay, you did that.
But he'd have a 6/6.
Yeah.
I think that was the more
Yeah. It was the big thing. And back then, you didn't have a valid build, so that was...
Yeah, you were all in on the Titan, huh?
I remember this deck I played this deck. I don't know how long I played it. It's been, I think, 3 years. It's been a really long time. And at times, it's been a complete pile of shit deck, but I stuck with it because I'm loyal.
I mean, it used to just be red-green Scape Shift, basically.
No, didn't. Red Green Spaceship was a deck, like, but
Yeah,
Titan
I mean that
existed.
was the better deck. Because, like, Hive Mind was the version of Titan that was good with Summer Bloom, like, 10 years
That
ago.
was a real... I wish I'd played it when Summer Bloom was around. I never got a chance to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have Amulet on 1, Summer Bloom on 2, you make a Titan. And that's very, very good.
Do you, like, make a Titan, like, trivially, though?
And what?
Like, easily.
Yeah, I still think the format's gotten so much better. Cards, like, Subtlety would fuck this deck up. Because Subtlety gets around Cavern of Souls, gets around everything.
Does it not counter?
Yeah.
Does it put target spell or creature?
The amount of confidence I said
Yeah,
yes
I was
is a
like-
little high. Let me just make sure it
So
says
no, it doesn't
that.
bounce a creature off the board. It has to be on the stack.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine it'd say counter, unless
Yeah,
it's like...
it doesn't counter, it just puts.
Okay.
So it just puts them there. So that would be very good against the Titan decks. Having a free Path to Exile. I feel like Solitude really changed a lot of formats too. Because in Legacy, Death and Taxes used to have to run like 4 Surgicals on the board because you couldn't beat a reanimated whatever the hell. But now you just get to run Solitudes. Cost no mana.
Titan getting Archmage Charmed.
It looks like Heresy was trying to... Maybe that Cavern's not on Giant.
It could be on Dryad.
Yeah, it makes
My
sense to do
guess.
that. Sometimes you do that. As a humans player, I can tell you that sometimes you name the wrong thing for your lands. Not the wrong thing. The circumstances dictate you name a certain thing, and then, boy howdy, wouldn't you look at it, you're dead.
Yeah.
Paying for a pack to not lose the game, that's something I've done a lot.
Lose the game.
I lose to packs with some frequency. Harrison makes 2. Another Dryad. This is kind of the game on hard mode. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
I was
can't,
like-
yeah.
There's 3 Titans in the graveyard
Mhm.
right now. Like, you have to be very careful with how you play your 4th.
Yes.
And Dryads can't win the game right now. I mean, they can attack and stuff, but... Transmute Teleria, go get Pact. EE wouldn't be terrible. EE on 0 here. I don't know if the deck has it. It does.
It does. EE is pretty great here.
Mm-hmm. Cast EE, and you just get to pass the turn. Kill some Rhinos.
Ooh, big Rhinos with little mana costs. Harrison picking up another. It looked like a Slayer Stronghold, but I can't be sure. Could have alternatively gone with EE on 4
Why?
to get rid of the, what's it called?
Ley line?
Yeah.
Can you make 4 colors right now?
You have 2
Red,
Dryads.
white, blue, green. Oh, Dryad makes 7 color.
Yeah.
I always forget that text is on Dryad.
Yeah.
In my mind, it just reads Valakut does damage.
Yeah. I always thought that like Dryads,
Was
it
good.
changed all lands. And so for a while, I was like playing this deck with the understanding that if my opponent boiled me while they had a Dryad out, they would lose all their lands.
Oh, but it's just you.
Fortunately, it never happened. But like I always in the back of my head was like, it's not that big of a deal. As long as I'm ahead, I'm bored. I can beat this Boyle. But that's just wrong. That's incorrect. That's not what happens.
You just get to lose all your lands. There's a Brazen on the EE on 0. It's fine.
Yeah, it is. Brazen in turn. Brazen Borrower is. Did you see that this showcase Brazen Borrower is like $40?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't. Brazen Bar is so weird.
Brazen Borrower is an uncommonly excellent card, and I think they were only just realizing it now.
Like, it's on the cusp for me.
Yeah.
If it could target anything, I'd like it so much more.
Yeah, it's non-land you don't control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
If it was just an Echoing Truth, I would like it way more.
I don't know why Wizards has gone that direction. With, like, Reflector Mage can't target a creature you don't control. Like, all of these things can't
Reflector Mage has additional wording, though.
Right.
His would be confusing, but like...
So, like, Use 2 Magic had downsides. Like, cards were not just good. You could do some wild stuff with them. I don't know. I fondly remember being a child and fucking things up so badly I couldn't play Magic. So Harrison is staring down these Rhinos. Got a couple of Dryads and a couple of... a lot of lands.
Uh-huh.
The question is, what are you doing here? Because you can go beat down. You have Harrison on or not Harrison, excuse me. You have Zach on a 3-turn clock between the... Nope, that's not what we're doing. We're transmuting this Tillery West with 1 mana floating. Question is, what are we getting? So we happen to know Zach has nothing in hand, but Harrison does not have this information, so it could be a little stressful here. So here comes a Titan.
You can get Bounce Land, Bounce Slayers, Bounce Land, Bounce, Boros, play, because you have 2 Dryads.
Does he have 3 drops left?
He hasn't played a land, I don't think.
Okay. Well, so if that's the... I mean, you have a lot of ways around this if you have all those land drops left. Dryad giving you an extra land drop is kind of crazy sometimes.
I mean, Azusa makes it wild.
Azusa's worse. Azusa doesn't, like, give you the Valakut outs. So as well as you get to, like... Azusa's good when things aren't going to plan. If you don't have a Titan, you don't have an Amulet
if you
or
just
something.
need to win, Azusa's better.
Or also if it's going really badly.
Here's
like, most
Valakut
draws, this is better. Yeah.
Does he know he can't copy the Valakut?
Let's find out together, shall we?
Oh, no, that's not Valakut. Never mind. That's not red.
That is Gruul
Turf.
It looks like yep. Bouncing the Cavern to hand to possibly get a rename on it. I mean, this is your last Titan. I don't know what else you're going to name with it.
Yeah. Dryad.
So here comes Titan. Looking like it has haste and vigilance.
I can't tell. There's too much.
There's a growth chamber and a... So Harrison was preparing for a double strike here. It's not a growth chamber, a sanctuary, a Selesnya sanctuary, and a sun home. So here comes a 16 trampling Titan. Does he have the mana to... Nope. Cool. So it should be 16 trampling with double strike.
Yeah. Block 8 of it. Take. Yeah, that makes sense. You also could have got Valakuts and just started blowing up the Rhinos and the Brazen Borrower. It might not just matter though. I mean,
it might. I mean,
a double striking trampling Titan is usually good enough to win a game.
It is pretty great. Yeah. And so now Zach has unfortunately not too much going on, and Harrison had one of the Titan turns, is what I'll call it, where like you kind of just, you know, you have a lot of lines, but you get so far ahead, it's kind of hard to say that there's anything your opponent can do. So here's Nashiok. Yeah.
It is. 1 turn too late, sadly.
Several turns ago, this card would have been excellent.
Well, last turn, Harrison tutored like 3 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
He would have been completely screwed.
And...
Zach taking a good long look. You're going to make sure you're not missing something, you know? But I'm pretty sure you're just going to get...
Technically, Harrison loses here, because he didn't pay for Pact.
No, he did. They're top right. They're tapped.
Oh, there they are.
Harrison doesn't miss, man. Harrison never gets got.
You miss all the time.
I do. That's why we expected him to do it. Congrats to Harrison. See you next round.